I know, boys. Yeah! Good on you, Thomas Burgess! Good on you, Tommy! South Sydney! Yes! Yes! Go! Yes! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! Go! Go! Yes! 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 Go! Yeah! Yeah! Good on you, Joy! Let's go, boys! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! Go! Go! Yes! Yes! G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Cody, and in today's video, I'm here to give you my second tip video for the year. Today's video, I'll be giving you my round 2 NRL tips of the 2025 season. Last week, we did very good to start off the year. We had four pretty good games, and 4 demolishing schools have scored by 20 points or more. But last week was a successful hit, even though there were a couple of floggings. But round 2 is looking to be such a good round as well to follow up round 1, and we'll see how we go. Last week as well, for the tips, I managed to get 6 of the 8 games correct last week, so a pretty good start. I only got 2 games wrong. The 2 games wrong that I got was the West Tigers, lost by 2 points against the Knights, and the other one was the Cowboys. Well, they lost by 30 against Manly, 42-12. Obviously, I was a stupid idiot for tipping the Cowboys, but I didn't expect them to get flogged like that. But it's just round 1. Round 2 could be filled in for shocking upsets as well, just like round 1 was. But anyways, guys, without further ado, we'll go through the games as well. But before we do that, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss out when I post a new video. So for the games I got correct last week, we'll go through them first. Well, they're both Vegas games first, so I managed to pick the Raiders first, 1-12, but they won 13+. I tipped the Panthers. I did change my tip for round 1. Panthers to win 1-12. I got both of those correct. And then back at home, the Broncos to win 13+. Tick, tick. Then I tipped the Tigers to win 1-12. Got the tip wrong, but Knights did win 1-12. Then I tipped the Rabbitohs 1-12. Both of them correct. Then the Saturday games, I tipped the Dogs to win 1-12. Got that correct. I tipped the Cowboys to win 1-12. Both wrong, unfortunately. And in the very last game, Storm and Eels, I managed to pick the Storm 13+. Got both correct. So a very good start to start round 1 in the season. 6 out of 8. But I know I can do better than that and potentially get a perfect round. But we'll see how we'll go for the tips this week. Anyways, guys, and we'll go through the NRL ladder as well. So for each round, we'll go through the tips, and we'll go through the ladder for what it is after each round as well. So finishing round 1, we have in first, we have the Storm, second Broncos, third Sea Eagles, fourth Raiders, that's the top 4, and rounding off the rest of the top 8, Bulldogs 5th, Panthers 6th, Knights 7th, Rabbitohs 8th, that's a solid top 8 there. Titans in 9th, who have had the bye and have not played yet. And for the rest of the teams, in 10th, Dolphins, 11th, West Tigers, 12th, Sharks, 13th, Dragons, and the bottom 4, 14th, Warriors, 15th, Cowboys, 16th, Roosters, really close to getting the wooden spoon there. And last place, 17th, the Parramatta Eels. So let's see how round 2 will wrap up to be, and we'll go for our first game right now. Alrighty, guys, on to Thursday night for our first game of round 2, taking place from McDonald Jones Stadium. we have the 7th place Newcastle Knights taking on the 10th place Dolphins. Last week's games, the Knights managed to win by 2 in a pretty good defensive display against the West Tigers, scoring finally in the second half, winning 10 points to 8. And as for the Dolphins, game got relocated back to Sydney, but faced the Rabbitohs, only just to lose by 2 points from Isaiah Tass game-winning try, losing 16-14 to the Rabbitohs at CommBank Stadium last week. So both teams only winning and losing by 2 respectively. Pretty good signs from both teams as well, but we'll see how they'll go against each other on Thursday night. Now for the team list for both teams, Adam Elliott returns after missing round 1 and takes over the bench spot from Brody Jones, who is 18th man. No other changes from the side. As for the Dolphins, this will get interesting. Fuiaki concussion protocols. Connie Lemny fractured eye socket will miss this week's game, as we will see Oren Kalili promoted from 18th man to start in the back row, with Mark Nichols joined back on the bench in his return game after missing last week's game to remain in Queensland due to the circumstances. Cody Nikamrima also returns, with Sean O'Sullivan dropping to the reserves. So both sides making a couple changes, but good to see 2 of the 3 players who backed out of last week because of the cyclone joined back in the squad. And unfortunately, the Dolphins have suffered 2 injuries as well. But we'll see how both teams will go throughout this week as well. Now, some of the stats for some of the teams. The Knights have won 3 of the last 4 games against the Dolphins. This will be also the 50th career game for the Dolphins. So the 50th NRL game they have played this week since entering the competition. Knights player Fletcher Sharp has scored 7 tries in the past 3 games at McDonald Jones Stadium. Jermaine Asako has scored in 49 consecutive games, so he's scored in every game since the Dolphins have played, which is incredible. And Greg Marzul has scored 19 tries from 22 at McDonald Jones Stadium. And just as I stated previously, this will only be the 5th game between each other. There have been 4 games, with the Knights winning 3 of them, and Dolphins winning the first one that they play against each other. Was at McDonald Jones Stadium as well. And this will be the 3rd game they still have played at McDonald Jones Stadium as well. Dolphins winning the first one in 2023, 36-20. And Newcastle winning the last one in the last round last year, or the previous one rather, 14 points to 6 in a close game. And it's only been decided by 6 and it's only been decided by 16 and 8 points respectively between each other. So most of the games have been low scoring between each other. Anyways, who do I see winning this one? This one is quite tough. One of the few games to pick that it will be quite tough. But I will back the Knights back at home to win 1-12. Now, I know the Dolphins did score more than the Knights, but I think just due to what's happened and it's affected with some of the players with Tropical Cyclone Alfred, or ex-Tropical Cyclone, which is dissipated already now. I reckon the Knights will just get this one. Knights to win by 4. Scoreline, we're going to go 18 points to 14. Try scorers for both. For first try scorer, we're going to go Kai Pearce-Paul to score first. And the try scorers for anytime try scorers for both teams. Obi Farmer from the Dolphins and Bradman Best from the Knights. So, Knights to win 1-12. Alrighty, now we move into our Friday games. The first one kicking off at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. out Australia. 6 p.m. New South Wales time. 8 p.m. over there in New Zealand. We have the 14th place New Zealand Warriors taking place against the 3rd place Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. Last week's games, Manly managed to crush the Cowboys in spectacular fashion, winning 42 points to 12, putting on a dominating display against them. And as for the Warriors, we're losing by 22 points in the opening game at Vegas, NRL games that is, losing to the Raiders 30 points to 8 and lay in the bottom 4th, which is not good signs from them. So this will be an interesting matchup between the two as well. And the Warriors' first game back in New Zealand as well, hosting the Seagulls at 6 p.m. obviously. Now I'll go through the changes for both teams as well. For the Warriors, surprisingly, Andrew Webster has picked the same 17 that lost to the Raiders. Darian Martin's listed among the reserves, and Sam Healy is the 18th man. For Manly, only the one change. Josh Alioi comes in for Silisor Tuiaki, who was expected to miss a week with a bone bruising in his knee. The makeup of the bench remains the same, with Jake Simkin, Corey Waddell, Ethan Bullymore, and try scorer Tolofara Sipley getting a nod. Clayton Falongo is the 18th man. So not only the one change for Manly and no changes for the Warriors. So this will be a good matchup. Now for some stats, Warriors have only won once of their past 6 games against the Sea Eagles. Tom Trbojevic has scored 10 tries in the last 10 games against the Warriors. The Warriors have won only 4 of their last 10. Warriors have had only won 4 of their 10 games at Mount Smart Stadium last year. Jason Saba scored a hat-trick in his previous game at Mount Smart Stadium, and James Fisher-Harris has scored 8 of his last 9 games against the Sea Eagles. Now we'll go to the head-to-head between the two teams. Now, these two have played 42 games against each other, with Manly winning 28, the Warriors winning 13, and there's one draw thrown in there last year. That only draw came last year when it was 22-all and Golden Point didn't finish in Golden Point, just a draw. So that is really interesting as well. And in the past 10 games between the two, Manly have won 5 of the last 10 games, with Warriors winning 4 of them, and there's one draw thrown in there as well. And the last time these two played at Mount Smart Stadium, the Warriors and Manly drew, and the last time the Warriors had actually won at Mount Smart Stadium was all the way back. Was in 2019, where the Warriors beat Manly to win 24 points to 16. So for this game, I think it's going to be pretty obvious who wins. Manly to win this one. We're going to go 13 plus. I know Warriors are different in New Zealand, obviously, but the way that the Warriors played last week, and they are bound to be better, but I think Manly will put a score on them. So Manly to win by 16. Scoreline to be 32-16. And for try scorers, for first try scorer, we're going to go Tom Trbojevic to score first for Manly. And for any time try scorers, we're going to go Tane Tuapiki from the Warriors. And for Manly, we're going to go Homole Olokoladu to score. So Manly to win, 13 plus. Now we move on to our main event for the Friday night games. Kicking off at 8 p.m. from CommBank Stadium, we have the 6th place Penrith Panthers playing against the 16th place Sydney Roosters. Now back in Vegas, Panthers managed to hold on to beat the Sharks in a cracking contest and game it around, in my opinion, winning 28 points to 22 against the Sharks in the second game for the NRL games in Vegas. As for the Roosters, well, they got demolished. 50 points to 14, being the first of 2 teams to concede 50 for the first time this year and cannot win the premiership, losing 50 points to 14 against the Broncos down there at Allianz Stadium last week. So how will the Roosters look like after they conceded 50 points for round 2? We'll have to wait and see. Now for the changes for the teams. Brian Ta'o, who returns from a hamstring injury, will return into the side. So that will put Paul Almighty into the centres, and Luke Gunner reverts back to the bench. So Brian Ta'o returns to the wing for his first game for the year. Casey McLean has recovered from a head knock from round 1 at Legion Stadium and will take his place as well. Gunner's back to the bench will push Laurent Patea back to reserves. Also among the reserves is Liam Henry, who is nearing a return from a shoulder injury. As for the Roosters, Victor Radley, who suffered a Category 1 HIA last week. Last week, that debutant Sosalis for Kitty has promoted to the starting side at lock, and former Eel Makahia Makatoa has been added to the bench. Hugo Salvila is again the 18th man. Spencer Linny will return round 3 from suspension. So one more game to his back. So Panthers looking strong as always, and Roosters only making the one change pretty much. Unfortunately, Victor Radley suffered HIA, will miss this week's game. The case with Casey McLean, it was interesting to see if he was going to be lining up or not, because even though it's an 11-day period, technically the Panthers had an extra week or so to rest as well after they're in Vegas, obviously returning. So I think it's the first time we've seen a Category 1 HIA player playing the next following round, so which is interesting to see. Now for some stats for the teams, Panthers have won 10 in a row against the Roosters. That's not good. Roosters have conceded 98 points in their last 2 NRL games, which is nuts. Isaac Tago has also scored 3 tries in the past 4 games at CommBank. Dominic Young has scored 22 in his 22 tries in 23 games for the Roosters, and Paul Olomoni has scored 4 tries in his past 3 NRL appearances as well. Now they're head-to-head between the two. They have played 100 games exactly between each other, with the Roosters winning 56 and the Panthers winning 44. Sorry, scratch that. There's been 101 games, and there's been 1 draw thrown in there. And that only draw was back in 1967 in their second game ever between each other at 12-all. So it's been well over 50 to 60 years since we've seen a draw between these two. And like we said, in the past 10 games between these two, Panthers have won 10 in a row against the Roosters. Roosters' last win against the Panthers was in 2019. In the second last round, I believe, where they won 22 points to 6 at the SCG. So they have not won against the Panthers since then. And this will also be the first time these two will play against each other at CommBank Stadium as well. As we know, Panthers are only temporarily at CommBank Stadium, also main home venue for the next 2 seasons, this year and next year, and potentially next year. But we'll see what will happen. Another thing I just came across as well, guys. If Panthers go on to win this game, they will make it 11 in a row against them. The Roosters have won 11 in a row against them as well. That's the Roosters' best winning streak against the Panthers. They've won 11 in a row, and that was between 1978 and 1983. So if Panthers win this one, they'll make it 11 in a row for Penrith. So we're tied at 11 in a row against each other each between 2020 and 2025. That's going to be nuts. And for my tip, obviously, it's going to be one-sided. Panthers to win 30+. Panthers to win by 20. Scoreline. We'll go 36 points to 16. And try scorers for both. For first try scorer, we're going to go... We'll go Brian Toto in his return game for first try. And for try scorers for any time for both, we'll go Nifu'a White, the score for the Roosters, and Scott Sorensen, the score for the Panthers. So Panthers to win 13+. Alrighty now, ladies and gentlemen, we move into Super Saturday. The first Saturday we have 3 games happening. The first one kicking off at 3 p.m. at Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. And yours truly is going to be there as well. We have the 13th place, the Georgia Illawarra Dragons, against the 8th place and my proudest team and the team I support, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Last week, Dragons coming off a loss, coming back too little too late to lose to the Bulldogs 28-20. And as for the Rabbitohs, Isaiah Tass scoring the winning try, and we're holding on for almost 10 minutes to beat the Dolphins in a... Wasn't a good game, but it was such a great defensive display from the Rabbitohs in the last 10 minutes, winning 16-14 at CommBank Stadium for our first win of the year and breaking a 7-game losing streak as well, dating back to round 21 last year. And this is shaping up to be a really good game between the two. This is another game. This is a flip of a coin game. This game can go to as well. Now, for the changes for both teams. Now, for the Dragons, Blake Laurie returns from a hamstring injury and returns as been added to the bench in place of Ryan Couchman, who has unfortunately ended his season with an ACL injury. All the best to Ryan Couchman, really devastating injury. The only change to Shane Flanagan's side. Tyrell Sloan is among the reserves, along with Loco Pacifici Tonga, while Dylan Egan is 18th man once again. Now for the Rabbitohs, unfortunately we've got 2 changes with our team. Jack Whiten has been suspended for 1 game due to the contact on Fuyaki last week. And Tyrone Munro is out for 6 to 8 weeks, unfortunately, to another collarbone injury, which put him out for most of last year as well. Really sucks, but we'll pull through. Making his NRL debut as well, playing in the centres. My apologies, playing in the wing. Making his NRL debut is Bentley Hape, making his NRL and Rabbitohs debut. Congratulations to the gentleman. He has been playing exceptional in the South Wales Cup. I watched a bit of him as he was playing for us throughout last year. Such a good asset, and congratulations for him to make his debut against us, against the Dragons as well. And the other change as well, Fletcher Myers will play his first game of the year as well in the centres, replacing Jack Whiten as once again he's suspended. And Englishman Lewis Don has served his suspension and is amongst the reserves, along with Jacob Host. So this is my thing. Jamie Humphries to start over Lewis Dodd full time. I don't care. Sure, Lewis Dodd had crap games in the trials, but I would love to see Lewis Dodd get a chance eventually. But with how Jamie Humphries is at the moment, hell no, that must not happen. If it does, I'm going to be so pissed if that's the case. Anyways, into the stats for both teams. For the Dragons have won 3 of the past 4 against the Rabbitohs, which is something. Campbell Graham, who had only returned last week, has scored 8 tries in his past 11 games against the Dragons. Christian Topolati has scored 11 tries in his past 9 NRL games. And Cody Walker has still got 1 more try to score for his 100th NRL try. And Jane Sewer has scored in 3 of his past 4 games against the Rabbitohs. Jane Sewer, also a former Rabbitohs player himself as well. Damien Cook and Lachlan Ilias locking up as well to play against his former club as well. I can't wait for Ilias to get smashed after he kept taunting us in the Charity Shield as well. It's going to be crazy. And our head-to-head between each other since 1999, there have been 42 games between the two. 41 games, my apologies. And it's only 1 game apiece as well. Rabbitohs winning 21 and the Dragons winning 20. If Dragons win on Saturday, it'll be 21 all between the two as well. In the last 10 games between the two, Rabbitohs have won 7 of the last 10, which is including winning 6 in a row, and we have won 9 of our last 13 games versus the Dragons as well. However, Dragons have won, like I said, 3 of the last 4 against us. Our last win against them was at Ballor Park in 2023, where we won 26-14, and the only game between each other last year, we lost 28-14 at Cogra Stadium. And this is also the Rabbitohs' first trip to Win Stadium for the first time in 2022, or since 2022. We lost that one 32 points to 12. That was the game, famously, that Lachlan Ilias got dropped. And our last time the Rabbitohs had won at Win Stadium was back in 2011. We won 34-24, and if you want to go back to there, we also won back in 2007. So technically, we have won 2 of our last 3 games at Win Stadium versus the Dragons. And back in 2007, that was 24 points to 14 as well. But between 2011 and 2022, we had not played at Win Stadium before 2011, or between 2012 and 2021. That's crazy, because we've been playing at mainly Cogra or of course Stadium against each other, or the SCG. For this game though, this game could go either way, but I'm going to stick to my heart and back my boys as always. Rabbitohs to win this one by 8. We're going to go, we'll go 24 points to 16 in a bit of a good scoring games, and expect this game to almost sell out as well, because Win Stadium usually gets a better crowd than the Strata does. Rabbitohs to win 1-12. Try scorers for both. For the first try scorer, we're actually going to go Dragons to score first. We'll go Val Holmes to score first for the Dragons. And anytime try scorers, We're going to go Cody Walker to break that record to get his 100 try. And for the other anytime try scorer, we'll go... I'm going to go bold. We're going to go Damien Cook to score against us as well. So it's going to be nuts. It'll be a great reunion between Cookie and the Rabbitohs. So Rabbitohs to win, and my boys to win 1-12. And I will be there for a vlog as well. So stay tuned for that as well, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, guys. Now we move on to our second game on Super Saturday. Kicking off at 5:30 p.m. up at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. 4:30 p.m. Queensland time. We have the 15th place North Queensland Cowboys taking place against the 12th place Cronulla Sutherland Sharks at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Now, last week, both of these teams coming off loss. Cowboys getting demolished 42-12 against the Sea Eagles at Brookvale. And as for the Sharks, losing in a great game against the Panthers, 28 points to 22 in the second game of the Vegas games. So both teams are looking to make a statement for this week as they try to get their first win of the season. Now we'll go through the team list for both of them. Now for the Cowboys, Jason Taumalolo is amongst the reserves as he nears a return from a Lisa Frink injury, while Jake Clifford hernia is listed as 18th man. Todd Payton has refused to panic after the big loss against Manly, with the inclusion of Kynal O'Donnell coming in for over Jamarai Nanai. So Nanai has been dropped back to reserves. That's the only change. After 3 years with Leopards in the Super League, Kynal O'Donnell is set for his first NRL game since 2020. So congrats to him. And as for the Sharks, they remain unchanged. The same 17 that went to Vegas to lose to the Panthers. Morini Horade and Billy Burns are listed among the reserves, and Tuku Haru Tupolhu is again the 18th man. Now for some stats for the teams. The Cowboys have only won 2 of their past 14 games against the Sharks. I see how much the Sharks have dominated the Cowboys in recent times. Braden Trindle has scored 5 tries in his past 3 games against the Cowboys. The Cowboys have won 5 of their past 6 games at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. So Talakai will make his 100th appearance for the 100th Sharks appearance for the club, and Murray Taulagi requires 1 more try for 50 NRL tries. So some big stakes here for this game taking place on Saturday. These two have played in 59 games against each other, with the Sharks winning 39 and the Cowboys winning 20 of them. In the past 10 games between the two, the Sharks have won 8 of the last 10, which includes winning 4 of the last 6 games. And like I said previously, Cowboys have lost 12 of the last 14 games facing the Sharks, dating back all the way to 2018. That is crazy. But for this game, both teams are expected to be better. But for this one, I will back the Sharks to win this one. I only win 1-12 though, because I expect the Cowboys to play a lot better than what they did like they did last Saturday. If they play like they did against Manly, then the season's done pretty much. So Sharks to win 1-12. We'll go to win by 10 points. We'll go scoreline 26-16. Try scorers for both. We're going to go Adam Fanua-Blake to score first for the Sharks. And anytime try scorers, Murray Taulagi to get his 50th try, and for the Sharks, we'll go Take Wilton to score for the Sharks as well. So Sharks to win 1-12. Alright, now we move into our final game of Super Saturday. Kicking off at 7:35 p.m. from GIO Stadium in Canberra. We have a top 4 blockbuster game between the fourth place Canberra Raiders taking on the second place Brisbane Broncos. Now, last week's games, both teams managed to win their respective game. Raiders destroying the Warriors in Vegas in the season opener, winning 30 points to 8. And as for the Broncos, flogging the Roosters to beat them 50 points to 16. So 50 points to 14 against the Roosters at Allianz Stadium last week. So they were a really dominating performance by the Broncos. Didn't expect them to destroy the Roosters like that, but there you go. God damn. Now for the team list for both teams, Joseph Tapine has been suspended for 2 games. So in place of him will go Josh Papali'i up to prop, and Morgan Smithies will start at lock. Matty Nicholson is the new man on the bench. Xavier Savage has been suspended for 1 game as well, in which we'll see Albert Hopewade come to the side. 18th man is Danny Levi. And with the Broncos, they have remained unchanged they've remained unchanged after the win against the Roosters last week. Jock Madden has recovered from a hamstring injury and is on extended squad. And Tyson Smithy is again the 18th man for the Broncos. Right, the Raiders have only won the past 4 games against the Broncos. Colbo has scored 6 tries in his past 4 against the Raiders. The Raiders have won 3 of their past 4 games at their home, GIO Stadium. Hudson Young has scored 5 tries in his past 9 games at GIO Stadium. So if you want a try scorer or an anytime try scorer, Hudson Young is your man. And Adam Reynolds only requires 17 more points to move into 3rd place on the all-time point scorers list. So 17 more points he scores, and he becomes the 3rd top point scorer of all time. So not just goal kicking, but also with his scoring tries, which adds on 4 points for each try he gets, becomes the 3rd time point scorer of all time, which is crazy to think, but congrats to him, even though he's a bit of a prick because he's obviously not at the Rabbitohs anymore, but it is what it is. There have been 57 games played between the Broncos and Raiders. Broncos winning 33, Raiders winning 23, and there's 1 draw thrown in there as well. And that only draw was in 2001 when they faced each other at GIO Stadium, winning 26 all between the two as well. So that's nuts. That's the only draw between them in their history as well. In the past 10 games between the two, it has gone in the favour of the Broncos, winning 6 of the last 10 games against the Raiders, including winning 3 of the past 4 games. The Raiders' last win against Brisbane was in 2023, where they won 20 points to 14, and that was up at Suncorp Stadium as well. The Broncos have also lost 3 of their last 4 games at GIO Stadium versus the Raiders as well. The Broncos' last win at GIO Stadium, which was their most recent clash in 2023 at this venue, Brisbane won 29-18. But beforehand, the Broncos lost 3 in a row between 2019 and 2021. So that's really interesting for the Broncos, but they have a pretty good record at GIO Stadium nonetheless. But for this game should be a good game between each other, but with the absence of Joseph Tapine and Xavier Savage, both key players in their victory over the Warriors back in round 1, I have to go Broncos to win this one, unfortunately. I'm going to go 1-12 though, not 13 plus. Broncos to win 1-12 by 8 points. I reckon it's going to be a high scoring game as well. So we'll go 28 points to 20. And for a first try scorer, we're going to go Hudson Young to score first. And for anytime try scorers for the Raiders, we will go Sebastian Chris. And for the Broncos, we'll go Jordan Ricky to score for the Broncos. So Broncos to win 1-12. Alrighty, now we move into our Sunday games. The first one kicking off at 4 p.m. No Sunday 2 o'clock games until daylight savings is over. Kicking off at 4 p.m. from CommBank Stadium. So we have 2 games at CommBank Stadium this week. The Eels are the home team. We have the Wooden Spooners, current last place Parramatta Eels, taking place against the 11th place West Tigers from CommBank Stadium, kicking off at 4 p.m. on the Sunday. Last week, Eels, what can I say? Getting smashed 56-18, scoring two tries in the second half. Disappointing performance, honestly. And as for the Tigers, only lost by 2 points, but they went on to score first. Only lost 10 points to 8 to the Knights at Campbelltown last week. Good signs for the Tigers, but they still need to get their first win on the track, obviously. Now, for the team changes for both teams, Sean Lane has overcome a knee injury and comes into the side in place of Kelma Talangi. Former Bulldog Jordan Samarini makes his NRL debut on the wing. Congratulations to Jordan Samarini for making his debut over Jake Tago, while another Bulldog, former Kitani Toga, has been added to the bench in express of Charlie Goulmer. For the West Tigers, the skipper, Apra Coruscant, is back from suspension, and Jermaine Buller returns from shoulder injury. Santa Staffordshire also good to go as well. Last week, debutant Tristan Holmes, Solomona Fatape are listed among the reserves. for this game. So great that Buller and Coruscant, a huge inclusion for the West Tigers. Now for some stats here. So Taruva has scored 4 tries in his past 2 games against the Eels. Zach Lomax has scored 7 tries in his past 7 games against the Tigers. West Tigers have also only won 2 of their games at CommBank Stadium. One of them was against Parramatta last year, and the other one was against the Rabbitohs in 2022. Shows you how much. Wait, hang on. I read that wrong. My apologies. They have won 2. They won their last 2 games at CommBank Stadium. I apologise for that butcher. And Eels have won 10 of the past 12 games against the Tigers as well. How they head-to-head between the two. They have played each other for 48 games, with the Eels winning 30, the Tigers 17, and there's 1 draw thrown in there. And their only draw against each other was their first ever game against each other at Leichhardt Oval on the 26th of March 2014 all. So, and since then it's just been Eels domination. That's crazy that their first ever game against each other was a bloody draw. In the past 10 games between the two, Eels have won 8 of the last 10, or 10 of their last 12 as well, which includes winning 3 of the last 4 games, and Tigers have won 2 of their last 5 versus the Eels as well. However, in their last 2 games when they faced each other at CommBank, Tigers have won both of those occasions, 21 points to 20, back in 2022. And also, last year, in their 1-point thriller between each other, Tigers won 17-16 as well. So, technically, Eels have not beaten the Tigers at CommBank since 2021, known as Bankwest back then, where they flogged them 40 points to 12 against them, which, that's nuts. But this is different circumstances at the moment, obviously. Now, who do I see winning this game? Now, despite Parramatta getting flogged last week, this game could go either way between the both of them. But based on last week, and I think they're improving as well, I think I'm going to go with the Tigers with this one. I know I backed the Tigers last week, but I'm a little bit confident that they can get the job done here as well. So I'll go to Tigers to win this one by 6, 1-12. And for scoreline, we're going to go 20 points to 14. And try scorers, first try scorer, we'll go Jarrell Skelton for the Tigers, and anytime try scorers, we'll go Aparai Coruscant, and for the Eels, we will go Zach Lomax to score. So, Tigers to win this one, 1-12. Alrighty, now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our final round of round 2, kicking off at 6:15 p.m. in the only game that this game will be taking place at Belmore Sports Ground in Sydney. We have the 5th place Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs against the 9th place Gold Coast Titans, who have not played their first game yet after having the bye, first bye of the year. And for the bye for this week, it goes to the Storm, and they beat the Eels 56 points to 18 in last week's thrashing. But anyways, Titans are looking to make a statement after having the bye last week, and looking to get their first game with a victory. Now we'll go through the team list for both. So, for the Bulldogs, Josh Curran has served his 1 match suspended, so he will be included onto the bench in place of Harry Haynes, who shifts to 18th man. Kurt Mann is again named to start at lock, but may swap with Jamin Salmon as he did last week an hour before kickoff. Now for the Eels, we'll go through the team list, as this is the only team I have not gone through yet, so we'll do the 1 through 17 and the reserves, and won't be doing that for the here on out. So at fullback for the Titans, Keone Kini, Afro Colin Pereira, and JJ Fafita in the wings. In the centres, we have Brian Kelly and Philip Sami. In the halves, we have AJ Brimson and Jaden Campbell. Mokuia Whakaweka, and making his Titans club debut, Regan Campbell-Gillard, who was at the Parramatta Eels last, makes his debut for the Titans in round 2. Sam Verrills is the hooker. Khalees Haas, Bo Fermor are at back row, and making his first appearance since round 3 against this team, against the Bulldogs, funny enough, last year, where he injured his ACL at Belmore. The captain, Tino Falasumalawi, returns for his first game in years after he done his ACL. And on the bench, we have Chris Randall, David Fafita. I don't know why Fafita's on the bench, but interesting. And Jalen Joliffe is on the bench as well. And also Brock Gray makes his Titans debut as well, who arrived at the club with a train and trial deal with 129 New South Wales Cup games in his name. And on the reserves, we have Jalen DeGrew, Armour Howe, Isaac Falasumalawi, Tom Weaver, and Tony Francis. Rounds up the Titans squad. And for some stats for this as well, Dogs have won 3 of the last 4 games versus the Titans. Khan Pereira has scored 44 tries in 44 games. Bulldogs have won 3 of the last 4 games at Belmore Sports Ground. They used to lose at Belmore, but they've been recently beating them. The Titans were defeated 32-0 last time at Belmore, which was crazy. And the Bulldogs have not opened with back-to-back wins since 2016. So they've gone win-loss or loss-loss to start the first year round. That is crazy as well. The head-to-head between each other, they have played 24 games, 12 games each. Whoever wins this one will be the better team. Anyways, in the last 10 games between each other, it has been 5 games apiece. However, the Dogs have won 3 of the last 4 games. And this will be the 4th time these two have played at Belmore as well. This will be the 3rd time these two have played at Belmore. First time was in 2018. Titans won that 32-10. And then the most recent one was last year, where Gold Coast were defeated 32-0. So it's 1 game each between each other, facing each other at Belmore. So this will be an interesting matchup, but I think we know which way we'll go for this one. For this game, we're going to go to the Bulldogs to win this one. Now, obviously, the Titans have not played yet. We haven't seen how they like, but for this game, we'll go to Bulldogs to win 1-12. Bulldogs to win by 12. Scoreline of 30 points to 18. So I reckon it's going to be a high-scoring game. And for try scorers, for a first try scorer, we will go Monsia Montoya. And any tie try scorers go Kiana Kinney and Connor Tracy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap... Bulldogs to win 1-12. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap up my round 2 tipping video 2025. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss out when I post a new video or go live on YouTube. Anyways, guys, good luck with your tipping this week. This should be shaping up to hopefully be a better round than round 2. Hopefully not many floggings like we saw. Like half of them were floggings in round 1. Hopefully not as much this time. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Good luck to your teams this week, except for the Dragons. Because stuff the Dragons, we're coming to Wollongong to beaches. And of course, I will be there as well to do a vlog as well. So it's going to be fun. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. And see you all in the next one.